Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name's Jacob and today we've got another unboxing video. Now I'm not entirely sure what's in this box, but I have a sneaking suspicion. But I won't get into it until we take a look. So, let's figure out where these... I'm gonna open this. So it's a styrofoam box covered in... what's it called? Just a plastic bag type material, really. Straight from China. So, just getting this open. Oh, so it's packaged sideways. It's actually sort of a little taller box. Yeah, let's get this tape on the side here and we'll open it up. Now, what have we here? Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so I was a little bit worried because this this is the bootleg SH MonsterArts Godzilla 2019 figure. I was worried because this thing is heavy. Like when I got this box, you know, it's a small little box and this thing felt like has weight to it. And I compared it with the NECA not MonsterArts, the NECA Godzilla 2014 when it was still in the box, and they feel really similar in weight because these NECA figures are solid, so they're heavier compared to a MonsterArts. It's a little bit hefty, this one, the MonsterArts 2019, but the NECA, it still felt, I don't know, something about it just felt a little bit too heavy to be a MonsterArts, plus the way it was packed so tiny, I figured that it was more likely like a NECA with its tail pulled off. The reason for this being that people have gotten scammed and bought these and gotten the NECA 2014 figure, but a bootleg of that one when they were trying to get a bootleg of the 2019 figure. But I'll show you guys what this looks like already. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So yeah, you can't really see it through the plastic here, but I can see it already, and I'm gonna open it up for you guys. Now, where did I put my scissors? This one was actually a really decent price too, less than most people have been getting these for. So that's why I was a little bit worried that I would get the 2014 NECA knockoff instead of this one. Because the guys at the Geek Chest, I love that YouTube channel, by the way, probably my favorite other Godzilla figure review type channel, one of my favorite, and they got one of the NECA clone figures instead of a MonsterArts clone. However, I went on AliExpress, I saw this listing, it was really cheap. I don't remember the exact price, maybe like $30–40, something like that. But yeah, it was really one of the cheapest that I've seen that wasn't like clearly the NECA one. It had the pictures of the bootleg MonsterArts on it, and I figured if they were trying to sell the NECA one as a bootleg MonsterArts one, they would have probably just put pictures of the real MonsterArts if it had the teeth and the weird box and everything. Oh my god, okay, so yeah, this is it. It's in pieces. But this is a copy of a MonsterArts, like totally, I can tell. That beautiful, beautiful face that they put on this thing. Let me just bring this in for you guys. Look at that. Oh, isn't he pretty? Pretty little Godzilla with his big fucked up face. That's funny. He has that weird sort of melted look to near the eye on that one side of his face, like some other people have gotten. Of course, the teeth are a weird new sculpt. They're kind of painted a little poorly. But, seeing the rest of this guy, not looking half bad. Just from what I'm seeing from this little chunk here. But so let's get everything else out. Look at that. So yeah, he's a little bit in pieces. And people have been saying he's more of like a softer NECA figure type material. I kind of disagree. I don't think he's the same plastic as the MonsterArts figure, but he's not too dissimilar. He doesn't feel. This is a softer type of plastic than the MonsterArts one. At least just kind of going off by touch. The actual MonsterArts one, which is here, but it just feels like a slightly different sort of hard PVC plastic. It doesn't feel like a NECA figure at all, because a NECA figure feels almost like a rubberized plastic. Not to mention it's very solid, so it has this very different feel to it. This one I'm not getting the feeling that this is a NECA type sort of material. It feels more like just some other MonsterArts figures which are made with softer plastics. Very interesting. The tail actually seems to move and hold quite well. Again, it's not attached to the body yet. He comes with this little beam piece, which the difference between this one is it's not attached to it's not a separate beam piece that you slot into this little mouthpiece. It's like a one full piece, this whole thing, so it's been modified, which is interesting. Just looking at the sculpt before I put them together, just looking at his leg randomly, just looking at the very fine details, actually not seeing a big difference quality-wise in terms of like the sculpt work and the sharpness of it on this thing. Not really noticeable, but you know, the face on this guy, jeez. But yeah, let's put him back together. Alright guys, so I spent a little while trying to put this guy back together, and the only joint that went on without a problem was the tail, which is pretty nice, and actually has some nice movement to it, which is really good. So the original one had a little bit of issues with this section of the tail. I found this bit to be a little bit frozen, a little bit hard to sort of bend, so it was not as fluid a motion, although the ball joints are a bit tighter on this one. But on this one, kind of curves more. It's probably because the plastic is a bit softer. Just a little bit. You can see that. Little pieces fall off here and there, but it holds pretty well. I haven't been able to get the body on or the leg. I don't really want to force it too much with a hairdryer, and when I do a full review of this thing, then I will, you know, show it off to you guys when he's, you know, put together. But at the moment, he's just going to be in his pieces. But I'll still show you a close-up of what he looks like. So there's the figure. Overall, the detailing seems to be pretty good, like I said. Not like if you put it right next to the original one and you look at it piece by piece, some pieces, like a couple of the ones in the tail here, some of the spines and stuff like that, and obviously the head, you can see that there are differences, and especially in the quality. However, for the most part, they didn't do that bad a job. It's still the same, you know, mold and the same sculpt, and it functions pretty well. What I'm going to do is, some of these spines are a little bit bent, so they were packaged and they were pressed a little bit, so I need to just fix that up, make them bend properly the right way, just with a hairdryer again. Use a hairdryer on these sockets, and then force them on the little pegs here, and that should hold it on without a problem. And then we'll have a completed figure, and I'll do a full review for you guys in the near future. But already for the price, because I know this is going to be I'm going to be able to put it together and it'll function once I do that, which is a thing that I'm noticing with these bootleg figures, such as the King Ghidorah special color version here. That one arrived, and I couldn't put on some of the joints as well. I used the hairdryer, I heated up some of the stiff joints. Now it's a really fantastic figure, and that might be the case with this one as well. Now, obviously, this one has that horrible-looking face, but I have a little bit of an idea of what I can do to perhaps remedy this thing. So, I can bring both of the faces up to the screen for you guys. There we go. So, obviously, this one is the proper face, how it's meant to look. Now, one thing I could either do on this one with the weird teeth is I could completely remodel his face and make it a completely different Godzilla look, which is a thing that I was actually thinking about doing potentially, because I've never been, like, for you guys who are, you know, familiar with my channel, you know that I'm not a huge fan of the 2014 look for Godzilla. So the face, even though I think they vastly improved on the design on the 2019, I'm still not that keen on the face. I think it looks awesome, just not really Godzilla-like to me. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get like hate in the comments for that, but whatever. It's a recurring theme on this channel. But what I'm thinking about doing is perhaps remodeling his face to look more like what I would like to see in a Godzilla design like this. Or what I could do is, I do have this technique for remolding small pieces, which is a really clever technique, which I have actually filmed a video on like half a year ago now, but I haven't released it, which is a real shame. It's just I've been trying to get through lots of different videos in my, you know, effect parts and diorama series on my channel, where I actually build little dioramas and stuff like that. So I have a whole backlog of those videos which I need to release and show you guys. It's just been finding it hard to find time to edit those, because they take a lot of editing, and do a lot of mumbling in those and all that sort of stuff. But there is a really cool technique in that that I have successfully cloned some Tamashii tanks and made like a little army of them out of just one Tamashii tank that I had from the Burning Godzilla MonsterArts figure. So if you guys are interested in how to do something like that, how to get a little army of tanks or clone little pieces, like we could take this Godzilla's head, cast it, and make a little mold of it, and then just copy it over onto this thing, basically, is what I'm thinking about doing. Then, you know, I'd probably have to repaint the whole body just to help integrate the paintwork on the head with the rest of the body, but that would be cool, because people have said that this bootleg has a slightly more colorful look to it than the actual MonsterArts, and I don't know, maybe a tiny bit across the chest, but other than that, it's pretty much also very dull looking. So they're almost identical and dull looking. Even the nails are painted, but it's almost painted in such a dark color that it doesn't stand out. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this little bootleg here, this little knockoff figure. I think they did a pretty good job, aside from the weird face, and I think this figure has a lot of potential to become something really awesome. Especially if you're looking for something really cheap, this is actually a good option for you guys if you want like a super articulated figure. Now, personally, I think, just based on the head alone, that the NECA figure might just still be better if you guys are looking for something on a budget. But for people who live in Australia, like me, you know NECA figures are fucking expensive. Like, in America, they go for like, what is it, $20, $25 dues? American dollar dues. Here they go for like 50 or some shit like that. It's really, really crazy, especially even more if you want to import them. They go maybe like 40 at lowest when they're, you know, when they're older figures that have been around for a while. So it's really not easy to get a NECA Godzilla figure for a decent price in this day and age here, unfortunately. So I could understand the appeal of getting this bootleg for places like that, because a lot of the other reviewers that are reviewing these things are from America, and they just recommend the NECA figure. But they're actually affordable, whereas in some parts of the world, these things are more affordable. And yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel, and it's kind of really nice for you guys when you do that. And just on a side note, there is a Godzilla bootleg figures and kits group on Facebook that I have made, and it's become pretty popular. So if you guys are interested in finding out more info about these things, either to learn how to avoid them or find out which bootlegs may be of interest, that is a good thing to sign up to. It's a nice, friendly community there at the moment, a fairly new page. So yeah, it would be cool if you guys joined up to that. And yeah, that's it for this video. So thank you guys for watching. May all your vinyl be irradiated vinyl. Over and out.